Her world was built on edges. These grooves, these curves in the wood and stone, they were her compass, her certainty. While others saw a maze, she saw the clearest path home. The town said he was punishing her, that Leo had finally lost his mind, building a prison for the wife who could never see his face. They called it cruelty. They didn't understand. He wasn't building a prison. He was learning her language. Leo, the tea is ready by the southern window. This is why he built a house with no doors. From above, it looked like a piece of abstract art. From within, to a visitor, it was a disorienting dream. Rooms flowed into one another without announcement. Walls curved unexpectedly. Light came from everywhere and nowhere. But for Ilara, every step was a known word. Every wall, a familiar sentence in a story Leo had written just for her. Leo's real work happened here, in the shed that smelled of sawdust and linseed oil. Here, he was an archaeologist excavating their past. A translator, converting memory into form. The blindness didn't come suddenly. It was a slow fade, a thief that stole the world in shades of gray before taking the last light 20 years ago. And as her sight dimmed, Leo's vision began to change. The old house, the one with doors and sharp corners, became a minefield. A chair pulled out from the table was a shin-bruising betrayal. A cupboard door left ajar was a stern, head-knocking reprimand. Leo would find her standing perfectly still in the center of a room, not lost in space, but lost in fear. The familiar had become hostile. "I just want to make a cup of tea without declaring war," she'd whisper, her hand trembling on the counter. And Leo's heart would break a little more. The doctors offered sympathy, mobility training, but no solution for the spirit being crushed by four walls she could no longer see. "Ah, this is for the new shelf in the reading nook. The one by the maple leaf corner. The very one." This was their dialogue. Not with words, but with grain and grit. Every new texture, every carved symbol, was a new word in their private lexicon. A star for the bedroom, a flowing wave for the bathroom, a cluster of grapes for the kitchen pantry. They met in a world of detail. He saw the potential in a block of cherrywood. She saw the universe in a patch of moss. Their love was built on observation. He would carve her the flowers she studied. A rose with dewdrops, a spiral of ivy. She would guide his fingers over the delicate veins of a real leaf, so he could feel its blueprint. "Most people just see a tree," she'd say. "You see the soul of the table it might become." We're both translators, Leo. When the diagnosis came, retinitis pigmentosa, they grieved for the future they'd pictured. The sunsets she'd described to him in poetic detail would become his descriptions to her. But in her darkness, a fierce determination grew. "If I can't see your face," she said, her hands on his cheeks, "I will memorize it. Every ridge, every scar, every place you smile from." The epiphany wasn't a lightning bolt. It was a slow dawn. What if the entire house was like that light switch? What if every wall, every surface, spoke to her? Not with Braille, which felt clinical to him, but with a language of their own. A language of memory. The first thing he did was remove every door in their home. The rumors flew. "He's lost it. He's hiding her away. It's selfish, building his weird monument." Leo heard them all. He worked in silence, his only answer the sound of his chisel. He built a wide, circular central living space. The heart. From it, passages flowed out like arteries. Each passage had a distinct wall texture. Rough-hewn stone for the library, smooth, cool plaster for the bedroom wing, warm, ribbed wood for the sunroom. "Feel this, my love. This is home. This is us." Her fingers trace the carving. Recognition, then wonder dawns on her face. She takes a tentative step, her hand leaving his, finding the wall. She takes another, and another, a slow dawning smile. "The oak, from the fair. Leo, you built me our tree." The house was not a limitation. It was liberation. For the first time since the darkness fell, she was not a guest, not a patient, not a hazard. She was the mistress of her domain. She could run if she wanted to. She could find anything, anytime. Leo had not simplified her world. He had made it beautifully, profoundly complex in a way only she could comprehend. But Alara, how do you know where everything is? The same way you know the sound of your husband's key in the lock, or the smell of your mother's perfume. This house doesn't just tell me where I am. It tells me who I am. It's Leo's voice, in wood and stone. They say love is blind, but I think true love sees more. It sees the need behind the fear, the map inside the maze. You didn't just build me a house, Leo. You saw me, the real me in the dark, and you built a world to match her. And that is the final, quiet lesson of this place. We think doors are for freedom, but sometimes the ultimate freedom, the deepest kindness, is found in designing a world where the doors of fear, of hesitation, of limitation are removed entirely. Not to make a prison, but to build a sanctuary where the soul can finally safely wander. What would you build for someone you love? Not with what you have, but with what they need. Look around. Listen. Not just with your ears, but with your heart. The blueprint for kindness is already there. This was his final secret translation. A tactile memory box. Each side, each compartment, represented a decade of their life. The oak from the fairground tree, the cherry from the headboard he'd carved for their first home, the maple from the cradle that never held a child of their own, but had held the children of others they'd loved. He wanted to give her back their history in a language she could still read. Not to replace the memories, but to anchor them in something solid. To prove that their life, though unseen, was not intangible. It was here in grain and groove. A new book for your library. Her fingers dance over the carvings. She gasped softly. The rough bark here are oak. And this is smooth, like the glass of my old Chanel No. 5. Her voice cracks. Leo, what have you done? For an hour, she explored the box. Each discovery was a quiet exclamation, a tear, a soft laugh. She saw it all clearer than any photograph. She lived it again through her fingertips. People think blindness is about the absence of light. It's not. It's about the presence of a different kind of vision. You never tried to give me back the light. You learned to see in my dark. That's a greater love. The ultimate kindness is not to drag someone into your world, but to have the courage to step into theirs. To learn their geography of fear and to redraw the map. To replace doorknobs with guiding hands and hallways with promises. In the years since the last wall was smoothed, the last texture set, Leo's work had shifted. From grand architecture to intimate archaeology. The house was complete, a living testament. Now he turned to the past, to the memories trapped in photographs and letters she could no longer see. This was his final secret translation. A tactile memory box. Each side, each compartment, represented a decade of their life. The oak from the fairground tree, the cherry from the headboard he'd carved for their first home, the maple from the cradle that never held a child of their own, but had held the children of others they'd loved. He wanted to give her back their history in a language she could still read. Not to replace the memories, but to anchor them in something solid. To prove that their life, though unseen, was not intangible. It was here in grain and groove. A new book for your library. Her fingers dance over the carvings. She gasped softly. The rough bark here are oak. And this is smooth, like the glass of my old Chanel No. 5. Her voice cracks. Leo, what have you done? For an hour, she explored the box. Each discovery was a quiet exclamation, a tear, a soft laugh. She saw it all clearer than any photograph. She lived it again through her fingertips. People think blindness is about the absence of light. It's not. It's about the presence of a different kind of vision. You never tried to give me back the light. You learned to see in my dark. That's a greater love. The ultimate kindness is not to drag someone into your world, but to have the courage to step into theirs. To learn their geography of fear and to redraw the map. To replace doorknobs with guiding hands and hallways with promises. I used to mourn the things she'd never see again. My face grown old. The autumn colors. Now, I listen, and what I hear is freedom. The sound of a soul unchained. That is more beautiful than any sight. I told him about your house, about how it sings. May I? This feels like the creek behind my childhood home. Cool, round, constant. That way leads to stories. But, don't you ever get lost? I was lost in the old house, where everything looked the same but felt dangerous. Here, nothing looks like anything, but everything tells me something. Here, I am the most found I have ever been. The house, like their love, was not static. It weathered, changed. The wood darkened, the stone mossed, and with each season, Alara learned its new sounds, its new smells. It was a living, breathing companion. Leo's creation had taken on a life of its own, sustaining her, long after the final nail was driven. You never gave me back my eyes, my love. You gave me something better. You gave me a world where I never needed them. This story is not an anomaly. It is an invitation. Look around you. The person next to you lives in a unique world, shaped by joys you've celebrated and pains you've never seen. Your task is not to fix them. It is to understand their world so deeply that you can build bridges within it. Start small. Remove one door of assumption. Carve one guiding mark of patience. Translate one moment of your love into a language only they can hear. That is how we build a kinder world. One textured wall, one selfless act at a time. Thank you for watching.